Hey, my Go Tribe, I'm back again. If you've learned something about me, is the fact that I don't like jumping into any trending topic because I like to hear both sides and where certain analysis come from. And we all know that I respect our Rattle president, but at the same time, I've also followed him for a while. Now, let me tell you why. I do not agree with everything he says in general, but I love the brutal honesty that comes with him. It is very difficult to be brutal, especially that people are usually very emotional when it comes to different topics and they like being sugar coated. I am brutal. It's unfortunate because of community guidelines half the time. I don't get to truly express the way I feel about certain issues, but I can appreciate that he has that voice. And when this whole thing of why I don't like VDM came out, I'm like, okay, I didn't expect that angle from you. Like, what is this about? And I loved the way Very Dark Man responded to him. But of course, I waited for the response. Now, the response came with a twist, and somehow he turned it into Very Dark Man does not see the worth of Nigerians. And we understand how it looks if you look at it from one aspect. But let's speak about Nigerians in general. When it comes to the leaders we have today, the leaders are a product of the environment. They're the product of the people. You see, when you stay quiet and you give power to certain people, they would oppress you with it because they do not consider you in the mass grand scheme of things. Now, my question is, and this is why I keep telling people, because I also get offended when people come after me like, oh, don't do this, you should focus on this. Like, bro, this is why everyone has a voice. Someone like VDM is a man who we didn't even know he existed till 3-4 years ago, and he worked on his platform, right? And I know that comes with a lot of expectations from the people, but the same way he grew his page is the same way each and every one of us can raise our voices. Yes, we might not be as big as him, but your voice counts also. It is so inappropriate to wait for 10, 15, 20 people to speak for the masses. And I cannot lie, I do understand where VDM is coming from when he says the people are not ready. If we take down these politicians, what do we put in power? I might have a different notion on that, but let me explain it. Now, I always say that I do not hide my mouth. When it comes to Nigerian citizens, they have questionable character. The way they think and the way they perceive life and the greedy nature they have, that is a product of your environment. That is a product of a system that has oppressed you for years. And the only thing you can think of is yourself. And this is why I will keep ringing it. Start unlearning a lot of things. I don't say this by mistake because it will come to a point where we do need to have a revolution sooner than later, but we cannot have people's minds divided on different paths. Right now, there's a whole Stockholm syndrome going on in Nigeria. People are so scared of the unknown. It's like a lot of people say, oh, I want to travel abroad. But the idea of not knowing what to expect from the abroad is what keeps a lot of people down. And then they just get comfortable with the hardship because they are scared of the unknown. So now for the few voices that are loud out there, please, with very softness, try to explain to Nigerians why. I tell people all the time, if I scream it at you, you will not get it. Automatically, your defenses come up and you will not understand the message I am trying to relate. But if I speak to you like I consider you as a human being, then you might be subject to, wait, hold on, she does have a point here, or he has a point here, and you're prone to listen. But if you come out with a more aggressive, maybe a bit of ego in there, people would not listen. And we need Nigerians to start listening. Now, when I say the average Nigerian has a very manipulative personality and the way they move is very sketchy, let's even take every person I have worked with. Let's talk about my first maid. My first maid, as much as I did for her, took her everywhere. She was everywhere with me. She was eating in 5-star restaurants. She was at the pool with me, everything. she decided to cook up a story for me to tell me how when because I sent her to the market. She said that when she got to the ATM to pull out the money I sent for her, somebody came behind her and poured her his powder, and the next day she woke up at the cemetery. Now, when I saw her, my first reaction was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Blah 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 blah. So what I did is, after consoling her, I gave her the same amount to go back to the market the next day. After, because I felt she was traumatized. I mean, that's traumatic. Just to find out months later, after she left my house and took back my phone, I found out that she was owing somebody a certain amount of money, the exact amount I had given her for the market list, and she didn't know how to pay, so she cooked up a story. When she knows me enough, I have fed her family, her mothers, like, I have taken care of her. So instead of asking me directly, she decided to manipulate me. Now, let's even speak about my securities. Oh, no, let's start with my driver. My driver was the shadiest of them all. One time I told him, listen, go get me a bottle of Jack Daniels, right? Back then, the prices were about 14,500 then. And what does he do? Just to save my money, he decided to go buy me a fake Jack Daniels bottle, which I had posted a long time ago. I know my whiskey. It was black. So imagine that. Then let's speak about my security man. Every single time I cook, you see all the foods I display on my page? Every time I cooked, I made sure to give them. Once a month, I would make sure I go buy their toiletries, make sure they are comfortable. I would always tip them randomly apart from their salaries, because I always say, just because you work for me doesn't mean I shouldn't treat you like a human being. And what do? They stole over 300 liters of petrol from me. They kept draining my generator for black oil, and they did all that, literally putting my life in danger. So that's the average Nigerian. Oh, and let's not even speak about when I had my studio. We were working on a project, and let's say, for example, that project I pay you 1,000 naira, which was way more than that, but let's just say 1,000 naira. And you are supposed to hire different people to do the project. At the end of the day, the project kept going slower and slower, and I couldn't understand. By the way, if the business messes up, I get the blame for it. What did I find out later? Out of that 1,000, for example, they ended up paying 60 naira, let's say, pay edit or photo to the people working. So of course they got tired at the point, like, no, this is not working. And mind you, I'm using 1,000 naira as an excuse because I paid way more. So this is the average mindset, and this is because of the way we were brought up. Nigerians were brought up in poverty. Let's talk about the ratio of rich people in this country versus the poor. You can't even compare. There's almost no middle class anymore. That's how bad the country has gotten. So it is very difficult to bring people together to be on the same page when they still have that Stockholm mentality. But this is where I am a true believer in, we can fix the minds of the people, and we can change Nigerians. And I have seen clear proof on my page. Yes, there are a few touts here and there that come, like, it's, it is what it is. But I realize one thing. If you give Nigerians something great to follow and create a vision of light for them, they would follow it. I do not blame anyone for not coming out to say, oh, revolution, because at the end of the day, if you do not educate the masses properly and you get to that revolution, you're in the line of fire. Ain't nobody risking their life just like that. You need to know that as you come out, you have a strong backing behind you. And this is where we need to speak to Nigerians and let them learn a thing or two. At the end of the day, let's not also forget that VDM's voice is very loud, but if a revolution is called for by him before Nigerians are properly mentally ready for it, guess who the first person they will attack is? It will be him. And imagine if we lose that voice in the crowd, it would take another 20 years or more to bring out another voice as strong as his. Let's not even forget what just happened in Jos. When he went to see the people of Jos, he said, listen, the government is not with you. Everybody get whatever weapons you need and protect yourself. And what did the Nigerians do? The same Nigerians created a narrative saying that he is against Muslims. They switched it all up. So when it comes to Nigeria, I understand both parts. You need to tread very carefully, because the people could be the ones turning against you if they do not understand where you're coming from. So please, let's all use our platforms to raise a voice and let's protect the stronger voices so they stay safe. I truly believe in us. I might not like the attitude of a lot of Nigerians, but I strongly believe that we can make that change happen. It starts with me,